let's talk a minute. What's up, man?
What's up?
Mark?
What's up? Mark? Steve?
Let us know where you're from. So, as you know, we put out the ILX-107 video.
Mm-hmm.
People were asking for it.
Excellent.
And, you know, it's really kind of funny.
Okay.
Because, like, everyone wanted wireless CarPlay.
Yes.
And it finally comes out. And, I mean, last year when they came out with the 007, it did really well when it came out. It did really well.
Yeah.
Like, I think for the first month or two, it sold amazingly well. And then everyone else came out with their units, or I don't know, because I mean the 4000 was out, so I mean 4100 was out, so it's just weird. You know, it's like we're selling the units. The the 107 is selling, and even Alpine has reported selling them. You guys look blurry. Internet connection.
Yeah.
So it's
Cartoning. ¿Qué pasa, man?
Hey
Jason.
It's adjusted. Yeah, just got to catch up. So, anyways, my point is we did our review.
Yeah, yeah.
And the comments were funny because everybody, I mean, I'd say out of the 20 some odd reviews or 30 odd reviews, it was like, this is crazy. Why would, there was nothing positive. There was a few positives, but overall it was like Clinton, Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. It was weird. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I think a lot of it too was the confusion that it only does CarPlay, and the Android Auto guys didn't like that because the 207 is the Android Auto version.
And you think it's because some of the people they want still use like thumb drive or something like that?
Well, see, but okay, so yes, good point. Still use thumb drives because it has the USB.
Yeah.
But the whole idea behind coming out with this technology was to be wireless.
Right.
So the whole idea behind wireless CarPlay is no wires. Full Pinocchio.
Yes.
Pinocchio wants to be a little boy. So why would you want the USB to work? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, I get it. But the Alpine probably looked at it and says, well, why do we need this to work? Because nobody wants to watch. Nobody wants to plug anything in. I think they went too far. I think what they said is like, everybody wants wireless. It's wireless. Deal with it. And it was like,
we're not gonna use this.
It's like, wait, back up, whoa, slow it down, bring it back just a month. And then there was a couple comments about the app.
Yeah.
Being able to control it from the app.
Yeah.
And there again, I don't see an issue with it, but I do get the frustration of not being able to just go into the menu and control the crossover, control the subwoofer volume, all the things that the app controls.
Yeah.
I think that. Yeah, I think that it was like...
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I think they're just confused. But the way I look at it like this is I think we probably only have... on Instagram, did you see the post Pioneer put up this morning? It was either last night or this morning about... it was like their cryptic, get ready, something cool's coming, 2017.
You think it's going to be something like that?
I think it's going to be wireless CarPlay. I think one of the new NEXs, like whatever's going to replace the current lineup, I think they're just going to knock it out of the park. I'm hoping, because I think we obviously know nothing,
right?
And they're not going to tell us anything.
What's going on, buddy?
Because they suck.
Yeah, great.
And they know we'd run right away to tell you guys.
Right.
So, I think that Alpine has literally maybe 2 months to ride the wave. And then it's just going to sit on the shelf like the 007 did for a year.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. And I'm not even bummed about the don't know how. What was that one?
Okay, so Chad is like, I don't know how I feel about the new Alpine yet.
Yonkers. I love that name, Yonkers. What was that?
Are you coming out with an 8-inch model?
What, of wireless CarPlay? Yeah, probably. I mean, I think they're at this point just want to see. Alpine has always been ahead of the game. Give it 4 years and it will be the mainstream, and Alpine won't make it anymore. Alpine has been ahead of the game. Hasn't been ahead of the game since the 90s. They were always ahead of the game. They had like the first in-car phone that would page you if your alarm was going off. They had one of the first two-way paging alarm systems. They had the best area sensor, hands down, best area sensor. Their radios used to interface with their alarm system, so you could go through and get a status report, for what was going on. You could program the alarm through the radio. They had the first in-dash DVD player. I have the 8-inch in my Tahoe. That's why I'm asking.
Well, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What?
Okay, so Steve is like wireless amp tuning via Bluetooth.
Yeah, I mean, that's also something that's becoming very popular. So, there again, I think Alpine just doesn't know where... I don't know if ever... Yes, the old Alpine was nice.
Yeah.
I just don't know what Alpine is trying to do. I mean, I feel like...
What's up, Adrian from Jamaica?
I feel like all of this would have not mattered had they put a 4-volt on it.
Yeah.
Or at least a 4-volt, at least a 4-volt, preferably 5-volt.
Francesca, thank you.
I think that was never an Eclipse fan. I'm sorry. Never. It can't beat old Eclipse. No, that was one of the most popular products. Wasn't a fan. Mainly because we didn't sell it. I mean, that was, our competitor sold it, so you're not on my team, you suck.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
None of us know. Yeah. So I think, you look at Alpine now and you look at Alpine of old and you think, maybe they know something that we don't, and then you look at the product and you go,
and maybe they still don't know.
Maybe they're just lazy. I don't know. But I think like I said, I feel all this would be a moot point, and everyone would be happy with the product had it come with at least a 4-volt output.
Yeah.
I think that is, and I believe someone in the comments had said, they've been making 4-volt out. I mean, Alpine was one of the first companies to have 4-volt. I think Sony was the first, but Alpine was one of the first companies to give the 4-volt the big push. I mean, that was the thing. It was like they had a whole campaign about 4-volt.
And they just took it out.
And it's like, and even back then, they took it out of some of the radios. And it was like, that's just dumb. Like, they put a 4-volt on the sub-output, but regular 2-volt on the high output. It was like, wait a minute, that should be the other way. I don't mind getting a little bit dirty signal in my subwoofers. I want the cleanest possible output for my highs.
Yeah.
So, I was like, that doesn't make sense. So they've always done kooky things. I just think this radio just kind of, it was like everything that everyone wanted, wireless CarPlay. And I mean everyone that has an iPhone, Android guys, just bear with me. And it was like, yes! And then they get the piece and they're like, wait a minute, what did I get? Why is it? And it's like...
And I agree.
But the thing of it is, too, is if you take that radio and you team it up with a PDX V9, okay? That 2-volt output... It's plenty for a PDX V9.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Alpine amplifiers are super sensitive on the input stage. I mean, if you put a 5-volt into it, you literally you have to turn the gains off.
Yes,
I mean all the way off
the amplifier.
Yeah. Is it the 9887 4-volt output on all outputs or just the sub? Yeah, but that was the same thing. It was
What's up, Anthony?
Yeah, Danny. It was like they had sub 4-volt, highs 2-volt. And you're like, why? And back then, you could differentiate between the two because the 4-volt was the green RCA.
Okay.
So now the 107 comes with green RCAs like you're expecting, but they're not 4-volt. So it was like, what are you guys doing? I'm with you guys about that subject.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. We just wanted to rant a little bit about the 107 just because it's like, I was kind of caught off guard.
There was a lot of complaints on the 107.
I thought everyone was going to get excited about the piece because it was there again. It was very it was an anticipated piece, and then it came out and it was like poo.
Honestly, I was expecting more. Definitely.
Poo, and I'm like, okay, I mean, thank you guys all for liking our review because I mean that we appreciate.
Yes, thank you.
But yeah. Perhaps one of the latest enjoyable things about that new Alpine head unit is the price feature. Yeah, I own an iPhone myself, but I sure would miss CDs and external USB drives. Now, see, there you go. Miss CDs and USB drives. That's a topic that is kind of on the forefront because
awesome, Donnie.
I've had my car since 2009, and I have yet to put a CD in it ever. It has never seen a CD. I have an iPhone and has played that countless hours. You've had your current car for 3.5 years?
3.5
years. Has it ever seen a CD? No. And so it's a screen, And I feel like, the DVD player might be nice. And I think if they would have made the USB read thumb drive video, that would have also solved the problem.
Definitely.
And there again, I don't even care about the fact that it doesn't HDMI, because it would have been a crappy down-res 480 by 800.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you're just using, like we showed the video with the iSimple Media Links, it still accomplishes that.
Yeah.
You're still getting... The Media Links at least puts out 720.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's at least feeding it a better signal than...
Cool. Yeah.
The crap that would come out of how low you'd have to decompress a thumb drive. Because, I mean, you saw when we did all those tests on thumb drives,
And
I mean, it was like 360 by garbage, it was like, holy crap. So, two things. They should have had a 5 volt or a 4 volt. They should have made the thumb drive, the USB actually work. Now, can they fix that in software? Alpine doesn't fix anything in software. Right. The only time Alpine fixed anything in software, they sent the rep in. We had to sign disclosure agreements, and then they would upgrade it, and they wouldn't even give us a copy so that we could go and fix our customers. Right. Yeah. It was really messed up.
Yeah.
So, okay, have you guys played? Yes, we have worked with the XR600 SDSP. We worked with, what was that, last week?
Last week.
So was it Monday? It was Monday of last week.
Yeah.
We briefly talked about it last Monday's show. We filmed the whole thing. We put it in a Dodge Ram. I'm sorry if I missed other questions. We'll go back to them.
Yeah.
We put it in a Dodge Ram with the big 8.4-inch Alpine touchscreen. We did the AR, obviously. Yes, it was a fun experience, and that video will probably be out next week. Yeah. I'm going to try to get it out this week sometime. I'm trying. It's a long video. It's basically just like today's video. If you guys caught the Toyota Tundra video, we did the same thing, just more around the AR feature of it. It was very awesome. What's up, Corey? All right, so go back and let's see.
So, well, Alexander is like, hey guys, how you doing? I finally have time to work in my little project on my VW Polo install the Kenwood stereo and calculate how to mount my amp. That's good.
Cool.
So, Kerry, great show. Question. I have the 8200 NEX. When I'm using ROEQ microphone, what volume you said you radio?
I'm sorry, I was looking at the P99 RS and giving it a thumbs up, so I got lost.
All right, so
I got the first part, 8200.
Yeah,
using
when you using the auto EQ microphone.
Yes.
What volume did you say you radio?
When you're using the auto EQ, it actually you have to put the radio in standby. It sets the volume all by itself. So what you do is you hit, you put it in standby. You go to EQ. And then, you drop the face down, you put it in, which we have videos on this whole thing on the 82. On it, you can look up 82 or NEX Auto EQ in the Pioneer playlist, and it should be there. But
what's that, John?
You don't have to worry about it. You just leave the volume wherever. Just leave everything where you had it and walk away from it. Hit the button, it'll set the crossover, it'll set the time alignment, it'll set the volume controls. It sets everything. If your gain is up way too high, it'll go ahead and really turn down all the speakers because it senses clipping. So, and that'll tell you right there, your gain's up way too high. So you need to go back, turn the gains back down, and then re-EQ it. So, yeah, go ahead.
You read this, Mark. Doesn't matter if you have expensive speakers and amp. Most important thing is the source.
Yes.
Clean signal and produce. Yeah.
Yes, I agree 100%. I always compare that. My analogy for what you just said, the clean source, muddy water. So where do you want to drink from? The well at the top of the mountain, or the pool at the bottom of the mountain? Okay.
Yeah.
If this is muddy crap and a pig pisses in the top here, guess what's at the bottom? Muddy crap, pig piss water. So you have to start with the best source possible and then go from there. If you're keeping a factory deck, or if you're buying an $89, well, I can't even say $89 because there's some really nice $89 decks now. But if you're buying a inexpensive CD player that has one single RC output and it's got 0.8 volts and you're like, I'm going to hook up an Audison to it. No, you're not.
Right.
So yeah.
All right.
Totally agree with that.
Ed, this is cool.
Okay.
Ed, I guess I'm one of the exceptions.
Yes.
I'm still using CDs.
Yes.
I drive a lot in places that they don't have services. So radio station are fuzzy. and unless you purchase his music on iTunes,
unlimited all my CDs.
Cool,
oh, no,
man.
I totally
Definitely.
agree. I totally agree. And see, for you, what would be real handy is like the new CarPlay radios, like the 2300 or the new Kenwoods, because they will format to NTFS. NTFS means you can go out and you can buy a hard drive, so you can get like a terabyte hard drive if you want, put all your CDs onto that terabyte hard drive, plug it into the USB, hit random, and just take off. And then all your music will play. You won't have to use CDs. So I'm assuming, well, no, I'm not assuming, because if you have a ton of CDs, that doesn't mean you have them in your computer. But if you did, and I can tell you right now, if you don't, I feel bad for you. I wouldn't want to put, when I converted all my CDs into my computer, that took like 4 months of every night just going
copy.
I had this whole thing, copy, burn, next, copy, burn, and I would, oh God, that took forever. So, but it's done, and that's a nice thing, because now that it's done, I have iTunes Music Match. I pay $25 a year. Every CD that I put in there, I have access to. But there again, if you don't have cell coverage, I totally understand. That's why the hard drive thing is pretty cool.
All right. Saludos para José Félix hasta Sonora, Mexico. All right. Tria, hey guys, where do you guys see the mono amp rated higher than the sub? 500 watts amp and 200 watts sub.
Okay, so that's not a gain issue. You're going to want to change your ohm load issue, because here's the thing you have to keep in mind. We're talking about output voltage, like 5 volts of output. Okay, if you have an amp, let's say for example you have an amp that is rated between 5 volts and a half volt.
That was cool.
That was Florida. So let's say you have a 5 volt head unit. You put the 5 volt head unit into the input on the amplifier. Well, if the input of the amplifier will only handle 5 volts of input, you're turning the gain all the way down. Okay, because that's all that amplifier can handle, is signal input. Now, the output of the amplifier is fixed. If you're at 4 ohms or 2 ohms or whatever puts out 500 watts, it's putting out 500 watts. It doesn't care what the input sensitivity is. Now, the only time you can kind of fool that is, let's say you had an amplifier that has 14 volts of input, okay, which there aren't too many anymore. Then you could really turn the input sensitivity way down and accomplish that task of fooling the amplifier into putting out less sound. What you really want to do is not worry about trying to turn the gain down, because the gain isn't a volume control. It's a voltage match between the head unit and the input of the amplifier. What you want to do is change the ohm load of the sub. So, for example, if it's a 500 watt amp at 2 ohms, more than likely it's about a 300 watt amp at 4 ohms. Put a 4 ohm sub on it, you'll be fine all day long. Try that. Okay.
All right. Jeremy. Jeremy said, do you guys have any experience using mini DSP in car audio?
Mini?
It seems, mini DSP.
Okay.
Seems like great affordable DSP solution, but not many people use it.
I haven't seen a mini DSP.
Like, I don't know, like...
Send me a link. Let me take a look at it.
Model number so we can see it.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's a couple motorcycle DSPs now, but...
Miguel said, any issue with the NEX 4200 cutting out when the volume turned up past 30? We never have an issue.
Well, okay, so past 30.
30.
What speakers do you have on it? So a couple things. Why would a radio cut out? Why did I say 2? Why would a radio cut out? First thing to look at is ohm load of the speakers. If you're using a standard speaker that isn't, standard 4 ohm speaker, you're fine. If you're using something like let's say a Hertz Dici or any one of the Harman, that'd be JBL, Infinity, any of those speakers that have a lower ohm load, that would cause the problem. Secondly, are you going into any form of factory amplifier where there's going to be a resistance put on the radio that is unnatural, meaning it's not like a typical 4 ohm load? Sometimes that will not actually be the radio clipping out, it'll be the factory amplifier clipping out, because you're overloading the input of that factory amplifier with too much sound. So there's a couple things that can cause that problem per se. I don't think it's something to do with the radio. I think you need to look at what's after the radio. Another way to test it is to have the radio, have a speaker, connect the two together in your hands out where you can see everything, turn it up and see if it still does it. If it doesn't, Another thing it could be is one speaker could be shorting out, and I don't mean like touching wires. You could have a bad voice coil that's shorting out to the magnet.
Right.
You could have a wire that's getting pinched. You could have a wire in the door when the speaker's screwed in that's rubbing, and it's not really actually shorting out. It's just tapping when you're driving down the road, and that tapping is overheating the amplifier. So there's a ton of things it can be to cause that problem. So you have some troubleshooting ahead of you.
All right. Fun. Clayton say, hi. This year I just bought a new car and replaced the speakers and add 2 amps and subs.
Yes.
I have the stock radio and I currently getting a high level from the radio directly to the high level into the amp.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Using the amp LOC.
Yep.
Should I buy an external LOC to get better sound?
So that's a wonderful question. Like, if you've watched our videos, you know that even though the most amplifiers now have built-in LOCs, we still use the outboard pack audio LP72 for any single amp install we're doing, because I like that better than what I like most of the amplifiers LOCs as. So, should you have an external LOC? Something like the LC6i, LC7i, LCQ1, those are all great products, and what they do is they take themselves out of the equation as far as it's the LOC that causes noise. The audio control products, they do it the right way in that they're not going to be the thing that colors the music. It's going to be the radio amp. They try to be as invisible as possible and give you the best signal, convert it, meanwhile high level, they try to convert it to high level, from high level to low level as cleanly as possible. Now, the nice thing about like the LCQ1 and the LC7 has AccuBass, so if you have a factory radio that has subwoofer roll-off, meaning as you turn up the volume, the bass just kind of like doesn't get any louder, it kind of droops off. The AccuBass is designed to fix that. The LCQ1 has EQs for front, rear, and sub, so that allows you to go in and re-EQ it, so that if there's messed up things happening, you can kind of fix that. So, is it better? Yes. We always try to use some form of external high level to low level. I don't like using the ones built into the amplifiers. You can do it, but will you get a better result using an external? Yes.
All right. So Donnie say, my van has 160 amperes, Denso alternator. Is this enough power to drive my 900 watts PDX V9? I don't see much dimming unless it's a night.
You don't see much what?
Dimming.
Yeah. No, the PDX V9 is actually a very efficient amplifier. We've actually installed several of them in Priuses with the existing electrical system.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen a Prius battery, it's a freaking joke. And it works fine. So, yeah, I don't see any reason. We've never had issues with voltage with a PDX V9. Very efficient amplifier. Amazing amount of power you get out of that little guy. Mm-hmm. They also have the new one, what we talked about the other day. That's right there behind Fernando. Slide out of the way.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. Yeah.
That's the new PDX.
The new?
Well, they're both current. This is just the newer, a little bit less
the
power. New look. The PDX V9 is still a bit more power.
Yes.
And, but this has a better damping factor. Okay, go ahead.
All right. I totally missed everything.
Which we did open up and show everyone in the live YouTube show we did.
All right,
Friday.
Jeff Brown say, do you think it's worth it installing a head unit with auto setup features? I have a Kenwood DMX7704S.
Okay.
Now just curious.
No, I mean the DDX7704S, you can still do all the same features that you do with the Pioneer Auto features. You just have to do them manually. You just have to use a tape measure where your head goes, and then play with it from there. Most of the time when we do the Pioneer setups, if you've watched any of the videos towards the end, we'll do the Pioneer setup, and then we sit in the car for the next couple songs. Usually, it's about an hour usually, but we compress it to about 10 seconds. And what we're doing is we're listening at what they thought was perfect, and we're changing it.
What's up, Dan?
So, auto EQ is great because it gets you let's say more than halfway there. The Kenwood, you just have to get halfway there manually, and then you have to start tweaking it. So I don't think it's good or bad either way.
All right, so
dude, hold on. You guys got to see this. Look at this. This is hold on. We're gonna spin this around here.
Band-Aid.
Look at that rain.
Stay there.
It's just pouring.
Watch this.
Oh, why do I want to stay there? Oh, hey. All right, go ahead.
A little bit more.
Yep, a little bit more.
That's cool. All right.
Sorry if I made anybody dizzy.
Fabian say,
Dan!
Changing the topic.
Changing the topic.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you installed the dash cameras?
Yes, we've installed some dash cameras for mostly customers bringing in their dash cameras. Kenwood is really the only company we carry that, well, we tried some audio box ones, or a box as they like to be referred to, with no success. We have the Kenwood dash cams that we started selling because Kenwood came out with them. This year coming up, for the late 2017-2018 year, I feel that this dash cam thing is really taking off because with Kenwood's Exelon radios and some of the non-Exelons being, well, like 7704 or 7704, being able to work with their dash cam, I feel that's going to be an awesome feature because everyone asks, hey, how come I can't put my front dash cam and make it marriage up with my radio? So they're not even putting a screen on their dash cam. The radio is the screen for the dash cam, so you control the dash cam all from the radio. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be pretty cool. It's one of the other reasons why I'm having such a hard time deciding on a radio because I want that feature. I know.
All right.
Another topic.
So, John, Dean.
Yes.
Now that I know none about the NEX radios, have network mode with the exception of the 2300. Yes. If I were to purchase this Pioneer 5800 and add the U280 navigation unit, do you know if the source I'm listing will be continue playing while I'm using the navigation system?
Yes. So so what you're basically asking is like none of the current 42, 52, 62, 72, 82 models have network mode. The only models of the NEX that have network mode are your 1300, 1330, 2300, 2330, and the 3300 are the only ones that have network mode because they're what's going forward. So you buy a 5800 or a 491 or a 490, which is the new version of the 5800 is the 491, and you add the U260 or U280 navigation system to it, will it still function properly? Yes, it'll still do everything it's supposed to do. You can still do network mode, you can still listen to your source, you can still do 100% functionality. What we used to do prior to, because like before the NEX came out, I hated the navigation system, so what we do is we'd actually sell those radios and the U260 because you got better performance. Now the downside is the NEX never got network mode, but the new ones do. And if you want nav, I'm thinking that 8200 replacement's probably coming if we're to believe that rumor that they posted.
All right, Chad. Do you guys get any storms too? It's raining in Louisiana too.
It's probably you guys that's causing this, man. Frickin' Louisiana, all you crazy rainers.
All right, Martin. 2007 Dodge Caliber with Boston acoustic music, using the Pioneer DEH6800 VT and HTO01 harness, but the sub-factory amp not coming on.
What harness are they using?
The HTO01.
HTO01. That's an access piece. It's going to be an access piece. Not familiar with those. Pack. Trade it in for a pack. Get the pack harness for it. Call it a day. That's pretty much where you're at.
All right. What's the best way to tune the LC6I on a factory head unit?
That's a great question. So what you want to do is radio, LC6I, amplifier, disconnect all the speakers. Okay, disconnect them. Okay, don't have them hooked up. Put a pink noise track into the radio. Now you can go to audio control, download pink noise. There's a couple places you can buy pink noise on Amazon. Sound. When you want something that's pink track. What you want to do is turn the radio up about 2/3 of the way. Because there's no really way to know where the radio is clipping, so about 2/3 is safe. And then start turning up the output of the start with the gains and the amplifier down all the way,
right.
by the way. And the speakers have to be disconnected. I can't stress that enough. Start turning that output level control on the LC6i up, and so you get that little flicker of the light, and then turn it down a bit. Repeat that across the board. Then go to the amplifier. Take out the pink noise. Connect the speakers back up. Put your CD or music CD. Play some music, and then start turning up the gains on the amplifier. More than likely, you won't have to turn the gains on the amplifier up very much because the LC6i puts out a ton of output voltage. So you may only need to crack them up a hair. The whole idea is to keep the gains in the amplifiers down as low as possible. Let the LC do the work. And that'll get you about as close as you can. Play some bass music. Play some mid, treble. Play everything. And what you want to do too is keep an eye on those flashy lights and make sure that they're still not, you don't want them on when you have it cranked up. But that 2/3 volume is really where you want to be.
All right, hey guys, I have Pioneer NEX-1750 UV. Is there any high and mid suggester?
Is there any what?
High and mids.
Highs and mids? Oh, like speakers for it?
I'm guessing no, in the radio.
Oh.
Like adjusting in the radio.
Well, it's got a 13-band EQ.
Yeah.
A 1750 is a 1700 here. It's got a 13-band EQ. It'll also do auto EQ.
Yeah.
It's got preset EQ settings. What more do you need?
Yeah.
Way the EQ breaks up is if you're looking at the radio, on the left-hand side is bass. On the right-hand side is treble. So if you want more treble, raise frequencies on the right-hand side. If you want more bass, raise frequencies on the left-hand side. If you want more mid-range, raise frequencies in the center. You shouldn't have to raise the frequencies in the center too high because our ears hear that really well. We don't need as much gain as we do for treble and bass because those are on the spectrum where we don't hear as well. That's why we boost those frequencies. Okay.
All right.
And why I'm rubbing my arm like I have a spider web on it, I was doing some of the Chinese finger torture loom stuff, and I was heating it up, and I pulled it away, and it went stringy like hot glue. And it's like wrapped, this little hair just like wrapped around me, and it's just driving me crazy. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm not like going crazy.
All right, so Carlos is like, hey,
isn't it?
It helps if I put resin in a box. Do you recommend it?
Yeah, I mean, yes, resining the inside of a box. Yes, when I was
how much?
No, you just need to brush them on.
Okay.
Brush it on to fill the cracks. Don't go too hot. Everyone always wants to make their resin as hot as humanly possible.
Okay.
Don't go too hot, and take it in strides. Like set the box with the up, and then do the bottom, and then set it down and do the sides. Don't try to do the whole thing at once. You don't have to, because really what you want it to do is you've wood glued it, you've put your corner braces, you've done all that. You want it to be semi-thin so that it kind of seeps into any holes that are left, and it just makes it's one more. You want it to soak into the wood. So don't make it too hot where it doesn't have enough time to sink, to suck in. It's because you want it to act like water, where it's going to get into the pores and just bond those seams really well. But always use wood glue. Never not use wood glue. Wood glue is an amazing thing.
So, Carlos, definitivamente, sí, puedes usarla.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right. Anthony, looks like Oregon. Wow. Yeah. Why not? Aldo,
the sad thing is the sun is out.
Yes,
so
the sun is out.
The sun is out. I mean, it's 7 o'clock here. The sun is out, and it's pouring down rain. It's beautiful.
All right, Aldo, what I wanted to ask is something about the 2015 Chevy Silverado.
Okay.
I got the WT trim.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
That pretty much has no belts and wishlist when it comes
basic.
to a car. Yeah, entertainment. However, to install a new head unit Kenwood 9903S, I could take one of two purchases. The basic pack smart harness or the Idatalink Maestro.
Correct.
Which one you recommend?
Okay, so basically what the question comes down to is a real simple one that we get asked a ton.
Peter.
I have a vehicle, and this vehicle will take either a pack harness or an IDETA harness. I have a radio that will also work with either one. Which one do I choose? Now, at the end of the day, I always, unless there's something in that radio that is crucial, needs to be retained, I lean more towards the pack harness. The pack harness is simple. You wire it up. It works out of the box. 9 times out of 10, the steering wheel controls are programmed and ready to go. And the reason why is because, for one, you have to flash the iData. The gauges are fun for about a minute. You know, it's like everyone goes to it once, and they're like, oh, that's cool. But resetting the OBD2, which I always say backwards, is kind of a nice feature if you're into the check engine lights. But I mean, obviously, you want to take it somewhere and have that actually diagnosed. And then knowing what door is open, it's like, oh wait, I didn't realize that door was open right there. So,
Yeah.
And not to knock it, what I like about the iData is that the cars that need the iData, the product exists. The cars that don't need the iData, they're just doing it as a toy. You're just doing it as a toy. That's up to you. Do you want it? Are you going for the, well, it's got that screen, I have to fill that, go for it, then buy the iData. If you're just like, I just want to wire this thing up, plug it in, have it work, and not worry about it ever, go with the pack. So, I mean, and we sell iData to pack probably 10 to 1, maybe 20 to 1. So,
yeah.
You know, and there again, I'm not knocking iData. I like iData. You know, it's an integral part of what the future of this business is.
Yeah.
But you know, the guys, you know, it's like, I just want it for gauges. Well, then buy it for gauges. That's
it.
You know, do it.
All right.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Go on.
So, Justin, do you guys install many audio control LC 4.800 amps?
No, we don't. Unfortunately. But go ahead.
Okay, so I watched your unboxing video and I was wondering if you guys had any more thoughts. I'm looking to replace my Rockford P600.4 running Hertz high energies, 6.5 with 4200 NEX unit.
Why would you want to replace the 604 would be my first question. That is a big, powerful, awesome amplifier. Not to knock the audio control. The audio control is cool. What makes the audio control cool is that it has the LC7i built into it. And that's what we typically use it for. That's why we don't sell a ton of them or install a ton of them, because most of the time it's a tool. We're using that amp because it does a specific thing, and we sell it for that purpose. Not to say you can't sell it just as a 4-channel amp. We've done that too, but most of the time we're selling it as a solution to the problem at hand, which is how do I get preamp level output out of my factory radio into my amplifier. You get the idea. We don't need to go there. But the 604 punch or power amplifier is a workhorse of an amplifier. I mean, I don't know why anyone would want to get rid of that, unless you're just trying to change things up because you're bored. And if that's the case, by all means, go with the audio control. It's a beautiful amplifier. It sounds amazing.
Yep.
It's got tons of impact. I don't know if it's as much power as that amplifier, but it's a nice alternative if you're just like, you know, I'm tired of wearing Nikes and I want to switch to Pumas. Yeah, that'd be the way to go, for sure.
Alright, so Luis, hey guys, I just want to say thank you for the input on the 2012 Dodge Journey. The subwoofer install was smoothie with the LOC, with the bass knob. I tap into the speaker, everything works fine. Thank you. You guys rock.
You're welcome. Glad it all worked out.
Alright, so Fabian, I just got an aftermarket dash cam. I bought it and it came with a hardwire kit.
Yep.
Can I supply into the cigarette lighter without damage anything?
Yeah.
Or should I just tap the fuse box?
No, I mean, you could go, okay, if the cigarette lighter turns on and off with the power,
yeah,
you know, then definitely tap the cigarette lighter. It's way easier to do. And plus, in a lot of cars now, we found that the fuse for the cigarette lighter is out underneath the hood. So, yeah, there's no reason why not to. If you can pull that out easily, by all means, tap it there. No problem with that. We do it all the time.
Thank you, Miguel. Ozzy. Okay.
Easy to
Let's try one more. Alright, Ozzy. Hello from South Texas. Okay. I have a 2016 Silverado single cab, non-boss. What head unit do you guys recommend for it? I'm doing a whole overhaul speaker, yeah.
What kind of car was it?
A 2016 Silverado single cab.
Ooh.
Speakers and subs.
What kind of radio is he keeping the factory? Or does he want to know what kind of radio? What does he just want to know what speakers and subs?
Just speakers and subs.
Okay, speakers and subs. 2016 Silverado. got a bunch of options. One of them you might want to take a look at is the Alpine. Where the hell is it? The Alpine, does it have a model number? SPT-31GM. It's an awesome package for the Silverado. It comes with an 8-inch for the door. It comes with custom pods for the dash to give you a 2.5 and a tweeter up where the factory tweeter goes. And it comes with a pair of 6.5 coaxials for the rear. They make several different versions of it. They come with an amp and some of them come with subwoofers. But that package is pretty awesome because it gives you an 8-inch mid-bass in the door and a 3-way set. I mean, it's really not too out of line as far as pricing goes. That door will fit a 6x9. So any awesome 6x9, if you want like the world's craziest
What's up, Tony?
Yeah, I know. That's why my mind was drifting. I saw Tony said hi. I was like, Tony from the UK. Yes. I was asleep. Lucky you get to sleep. Anyways, if you want the baddest, coolest, most awesome 6x9, check out the Hertz High Energy 6x9. They have a full line of speakers. They have a 6.5. They have a tweeter. But check those out. Those 6x9s are insanely awesome. Other than that, I mean, there's a ton of speakers out there that you can go with. Focal makes the integration series that we did in the Toyota Tundra today's video. It's a 6x9 and a tweeter. That was the Toyota version. They also make a standalone version that's actually a normal 6x9 and a tweeter for the dash. So they have that as well. So a couple things to check out there.
Alright, so next. Hi guys, I have a BMW 135i with the iDrive, and I was told I could never upgrade my stereo because the integral part of the car. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah, it is. It is true, unfortunately. That's not to say you can't upgrade. I mean, you can add after the fact, amplifiers, processor, better speakers. You can do all that, but right now that radio is staying in the dash. Bummer, I know. All right, go ahead.
Alright, so Thomas, hi guys. Does the Kenwood do a dash cam?
Okay, I got that one. I read that one. So the question is, do the new Kenwoods, the new 04s or anything that ends in a 4 that does the front crash cam, does it also do a... will it only do a crash cam, or will it do a crash cam and a front cam, or is it one or the other? And the question is, or the answer is, it's one or the other. You can do a crash cam and a rear cam, or you can do a front cam and a rear cam, but you can't do a front cam and a crash cam off of the same harness. It won't do 3 cameras yet. Now, that's not to say you can't do it from the backup camera input. So, PAC makes the VS41, I think is what it calls. Basically, it's a single output, 4-channel input camera switching system. It's designed to do front, these, and that. So you could still do a crash cam, and then you could go with the VS41 to do a front cam and a rear cam, feed that into the rear cam input, select the rear cam, toggle the switch, and you can have the front cam or the back cam. And then you'd still have the crash cam. And then you could add 2 more cameras. So, yeah, it's doable. It's just not out of the box doable. Okay, go ahead.
Alright, Aldo say, hey, thank you for the answer. One more thing. Which kit do you think have the best finish? Metra, PAC, or ID?
It depends on the car. It depends on the car.
Aldo, let me see.
We always start with the PAC kits.
2015 Chevy Silverado.
PAC kit. Go with the PAC kit. PAC kit looks awesome.
Alright.
Okay, easy enough.
Easy enough. Alright, next. Roger, my 350C did not come with steering wheel controls. Radio option. Do you know if you can buy the factory switches and...
Yeah, I get what he's trying to say.
It
doesn't have... The steering wheel didn't come with it.
It's true.
I've actually had guys do it in Toyotas where the Toyota didn't come with them and it was pre-wired for it, kind of. It was still a pain in the butt. It really just depends. Some you can, some you can't, because it all depends on the collar. Is it a different collar? So there's little tabs, little copper tabs that spin as the wheel spins, and if they're not there, then no, you can't do it. So you'd have to do a little bit more research on that one. Okay.
All right. I did 3-way components Hertz setup today.
Who was that?
Dean.
Oh, cool.
Cool, man.
I like that system. It's a really nice system.
Nice.
Way to go, Dean. Good name.
Thanks, guys. And my whole fuse box is under the hood.
There you go. Easy
There you
peasy.
go.
All
Yeah.
right, what else you got? Let's wrap these up.
Mike, I got 2 L7s, 12s, 1500 watts RMS, 750 RMS, which Hyphonics 3500 anniversary. Should I use it?
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep an eye, yeah, why not? Yeah. Because you got to remember, the Hyphonics isn't real. It's not really 3,500 watts. It's probably maybe a little bit more than half that. So, yeah, it'll bang the hell out of those. I mean, you got L7s. Those need a ton of power.
All right, Edwin. Any advice for the antenna not being good with the reception after adding 4200 NEX? What kind of car?
What kind of car is that? And also, a couple things to keep in mind. Edwin, does the FM antenna need power? Yes, it does. A lot of that comes to the car. So, when you're putting a radio in, if there's a blue wire in the harness, make sure that you check to see if there is a wire on the other side of it. A lot of people say, "Oh, it doesn't have a factory amp. I'm not hooking up the blue wire." The blue wire is for the amp. It could be for a power antenna, an amplified antenna. So there's a lot of things going on there. Also, if you added an amplifier to the system along with the radio, it's a Scion TC. Scion TCs don't have amp. Yeah, some of those do. Check the Toyota harness has the 1761 Toyota harness has one blue wire and it loops over into the other one. Make sure that's going to power.
Yep.
Check and see. You can also look on the other side of it and see if there's actually anything in the opposite side of those two blue wires, or the one blue wire with the loop. If there is, those need to go to power. Other than that, if you put in, let's say, a Class D amplifier anywhere in the rear of the vehicle, you're also going to have crappy FM reception if it was a non-shielded Class D amplifier. Class D amplifiers put out a lot of RF that totally screws up FM.
All right, so Tony, Sierra 2008 1500, can I install a 3.5 splitter into the radio because I'm using the 3.5 for the Maestro? And I want to add the Belkin on it.
I get what kind of radio is it?
No, he don't say.
Okay, so
Tony.
All right, so what the Belkin or really? Because I thought there was. All right, so what the Maestro does with that input is gives you the chime, not the chimes, but the backup sensors come through that aux input. If you don't have backup sensors and you're not using OnStar, you don't need that input for the iData connection.
You're welcome, James.
On a GM. So that's all that's for. So if you're not going to do OnStar and you don't have backup sensors, you can use the aux input for anything you want.
It's a Kenwood DDX 393.
393. That only has the one input. Yeah, so those are the things. But if you do have backup sensors and you are trying to keep OnStar, then you can put a Y on it, but if the backup sensors are going to just ping, 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 so if you're backing up.
Okay, say, have you guys used or see the Australian Kenwood widescreen models that fits in the Toyota without
Yes, I've seen them,
pieces.
And they're not going to bring them to the U.S. Yeah. They're very sexy, and I'm still pissed that they're not bringing them here. So that's kind of a sore topic. Yeah.
All right. So have a great night, gentlemen. Thomas, don't any head units.
Have a great evening, gentlemen. Fiat. Thank you, Fro. You have a wonderful evening too. Love the vids. Keep them coming. I feel the same way. I've been watching yours. Man, I appreciate keeping the great videos. Love you, man. Thanks.
All right. So the last one.
There was one question I missed. Yeah, what was that?
Yeah, the last one is going to be Thomas.
Yep.
Done any head units on the Fiat 500 with the Beats audio?
Okay.
And the LCD gouges closure?
So the only thing I've seen for Fiat is you can't. I don't know if anyone makes a radio replacement, but if it's got the Beat system in it, you can do the iData-Link AR, which is the ability to add in the preamp section. That's their new Amp Pro, like Amp has, like Pack has.
Yeah.
You could do the AR into the Kenwood 606 DSP amplifier. which will give you a ton of features, which the video will hopefully be up in a week or so. We'll have that up. But really, that's the only thing I know of about Fiat right now. You could go on to idata.com/maestro and see if they make a harness for it. They would be the only guys that I know of that would have anything for that. And with that,
he would like to add a nav.
Would like to do what?
Nav.
Nav? Yeah, totally understand. Great store. Okay. You guys have a great night as always. Thank you a million for checking us out.
Tony.
What's a fair price for a mono amp?
Call Paul.
Yeah, definitely call Paul. 727-216-6170. Have a great night.
All right.
You guys have a great night
John.
too. All right, guys.
See you guys later.
Bye.